Check, check, check. Oh, we live. We're recording another podcast of Reddit Reaction. This is where I give you my raw reaction to stuff that I see on Reddit. Now, this one comes from, let's see who sent this one in. This is from Lip Popa. Says, why do people think audio engineering degrees aren't necessary? He says, when I see people talk about audio engineering, they often say you don't need a degree, as it's a field you can teach yourself. I'm currently studying electronic engineering, and this year, all of my modules are shared with audio engineering, electrical circuits, programming, maths, signals and communications, etc. This is a highly intense course, not something you could easily teach yourself. He says, where is the disparity here? Is my uni the only uni that teaches the audio engineers all of the electronic engineering? So I will say, one, I have a lot of empathy for you because there were two majors back when I was at pre-med at Villanova that I just respected with everything because I understand how hard it was. One was physics. Anybody who took physics in college, what kind of reality do you live in? Because that is the hardest thing I've ever seen in my life. And anybody who was in nursing. And I'm saying that because the engineering folks were in my category of like physics. That's basically like physics type math. So those guys were supremely skilled at knowledge work. And then you had the nursing, which was just a skill, just in a different field, but it required that physics level teaching. So what you're asking is that most people associate audio engineering with just hitting record in Pro Tools and micing up, the patch bay, plugging in the cables, micing somebody up, getting the signal flow right. So when people say audio engineering, that's probably what they're assuming is that you're talking about just signal flow type stuff. But you're talking about your university, at least, teaches you stuff, the skills to build stuff. So that's the difference, is that you're learning a skill to build stuff. Whereas if I'm just making a beat, I'm just making a beat. I'm not trying to sound design a kick from scratch and sound design a snare from scratch and then sound design a bass guitar so that I can play it on my track. Like, some people just want to get straight to it. So there's different pockets of music production and the gear that we buy and the focus that we put on. Like, whenever I find somebody asking, what type of stuff to get for their studio, the first thing I say is, what is your focus? Because if you're a recording artist, I'm going to suggest stuff that's different than a mixing engineer. And if you're a music producer, really all you need is your laptop and a pair of these. This is literally all you need as a music producer: a laptop and a pair of Apple headphones. Literally all you need. These are like $30 plus your laptop. Okay. And, you don't need all this extra stuff. You don't need these keyboards. I rarely use those keyboards. I use them for sound design purposes, but I don't use them in practice of music production. I have all that stuff back there. I have closets full of crap. Okay. But do you need that? So I think what people are getting at, and this is my perspective, is that if I saw somebody who said they got a degree in audio engineering, I say, good luck, because it's going to be hard to find work to pay back that loan. Even though you have knowledge that not a lot of people have. Like, I think I have a book. If you guys can hold on one second. This book right here. Funny enough, I just had it on hand. Usually I have this. Oh, there goes my guitar. But this book right here. Where's it at here? Handbook for Sound Engineers. This book, look how thick this is. What the F? That is thick. Okay. I'm on like page 30. This thing is at least 3,000 pages. It's bigger than the Bible. Okay. And these are like, let me show you guys something. I'm just opening it up to a random page just to show you. Look at these schematics and resistance and ohms and transformers, capacitors, transistors, all this type of stuff. That's for people who build stuff. That's for the guitar pedal builders. This is for like, oh, sorry, y'all. I'm breaking everything in my studio. That's for this is for the people who make microphones. This is for the people who make environments and build rooms like from scratch. There's certain people who design studios from scratch. Like, your local studio owner probably didn't design the room that they have. They probably, hired some person who was an expert, and they came in, paid them $100,000, whatever it was. And they designed a custom room and got all the angles right and the physics of the reflections and all that. So it's a highly specialized focus when you're talking about that level of audio engineering. This is not how to mix vocals in Pro Tools. Like, I can open up to another random page and just show you how complex this stuff gets. another schematic. Look. So when you guys are on this level, you don't even need this for mixing or recording. So when people are doing all this, it's because you're trying to build something. Okay. And if you're trying to build something, that's a different lane than the people who are practitioners or technicians, I'll say. Okay, because if you're trying to build something, you're building the tools or the weapons, I'll say, for the soldiers to go to battle. Okay, very different skill set and very different marketplace. My floor is so junky, y'all. You need to clean this basement. But yes, so going back to your question, he says, why do people think audio engineering degrees aren't necessary? It's because most people who are in the music industry are not trying to build microphones. They're not trying to build guitar pedals. They're not trying to, build equipment. They're just trying to record or get an idea out. So that's why they say it's not necessary. In my opinion, you just have to decide, where are you trying to go with this information? Because in the field of music production, that's highly irrelevant information. It's not because how do I explain this? It's not because it's not smart information to know, but it doesn't directly correlate to better results in this field, if that makes sense. Yes, more knowledge can help your understanding, but it's not required knowledge, put it that way. Okay. For what we do. Okay. So maybe that's why you're feeling a little pushback with your post here. It says, why do people think audio engineering degrees aren't necessary? That's what I think. If I'm hiring people for my studio, I'm not going, man, who knows maths? I need somebody who knows, signal flow, that just in case a microphone breaks, then they can build another one. That's such a niche problem to have. You would usually hire like somebody who's of a, like a specialist or like of an agency, and then they handle it for you. So in my opinion, as somebody who's hired multiple people, had a commercial studio space, and thought about hiring other people, I can tell you that these skills are highly intelligent. However, when it comes to the typical music studio, these aren't relevant as far as getting the product of music done. Now, building products, if I was a company that made microphones, like I keep saying, or made gear or guitar pedals, you need to learn PCB, the circuit board technologies. You need to learn physics of ohms, resistance, capacitors, transformers, electricity, voltage, amplitude, DC, AC. That's when you need to know all that type of stuff, if you're in that field. And maybe you'll be the next Chase Bliss. We don't know. Okay. So I want to encourage you. This is not a message to say you don't need to know this information. I'm saying, since you're so skilled in this information, Lip Papa, I want you to take this and ask, what can I build for the producer community, for the artist community, and the creative community that will transform the way they think about music? Even though you might not be the Telefunken building a microphone, how do you get people excited to make music again? Use this knowledge and apply it and create real product. Create something real out of this knowledge. I went to school for 4 years for pre-med, and I don't remember anything from biology or chemistry because I didn't apply it to my life. In the moment, yeah, I was passing tests, I was doing whatever. 10 years later, I don't remember that stuff. Okay, so because it doesn't apply to my life. Okay, so just want to encourage you guys. If you do have the high level knowledge, don't overlook it. Just understand you might be applying it to the wrong pocket of the market. All right. So I wish you guys well who are going to university, college, school, high school, wherever you are right now. Keep going, focus and finish. But just understand that the real world, the only currency in the real world is experience. I don't care how much knowledge is up here. If you haven't translated that to the physical reality, it doesn't matter. Okay. Wishing you guys well. Peace.